Parvana's Journey, Chapter 12. They spent the night in the little house. Layla shared her mattress with Parvana, and Asif slept next to Hassan. Parvana slept deeply and did not dream. The flies woke her up. We'll have to do something about that, she thought, as she scratched at the flea bites on her ankles. They would have to do something about the bugs in the beds, too. She realized she had decided to stay for a while. The others were still sleeping. Parvana gently lifted Layla's arm from where it had fallen across her chest and went outside. The clearing was a little world by itself. The way the hills surrounded it, it was hard to tell there was a world outside at all. Parvana walked around the little house. In the back was a patch of dirt that looked as if it might have been a vegetable garden at one point. There were sticks in the ground that could have staked tomatoes, like the ones she had seen in gardens in the villages she had passed through with her father. Near the garden was a rusty wire cage full of pigeons. The cage was taller than Parvana, but the perch had broken and was lying on the ground covered with droppings. Most of the pigeons hopped around in the muck on the bottom. One was trying to work its way through a hole in the wires. Parvana put her hand against the hole and felt the bird's soft head butt against her palm.
We ate one of those last night, Layla said, coming up behind her. We eat some and they keep having babies, so we have more to eat.
Layla took Parvana on a tour of the clearing.
These are the apple trees,
she said, pointing to two scraggly trees with shiny leaves and little green apples on the branches.
The apples will be ready in the fall. They're good, but you have to eat around the worms.
In another part of the yard were sacks of flour and rice. Parvana could see mouse holes in some of the bags.
Come and see my treasure house, Layla said.
The treasure house turned out to be some boards leaning up against a rock. Layla pulled one of the boards away. Parvana peered in and saw cans of cooking oil, several bolts of cloth, a box of light bulbs, cooking pots, sandals of many sizes, men's caps, lengths of rope, several thermos flasks, and a box of bars of soap, some chewed by mice. Where did all this come from? Parvana asked.
A peddler got blown up in the minefield. That was a really good day. We got all these things. I made myself this dress from some of the cloth.
Parvana struggled to understand. You mean you go out into the minefield when you hear an explosion?
Of course, that's how I found you.
What happened to the peddler?
Oh, he was blown up. His cart and clothes were all blown up, too. Nothing there we could use. I had to make a lot of trips to carry all these things back.
Parvana had an image of Layla as a spider, waiting for a fly to become trapped in her web. Asif had joined them in time to hear the last part.
You actually go into the minefield? That's stupid.
Parvana frowned at him. He means it's dangerous.
Not for me, Layla said. The ground likes me. Every time I eat, I put a few crumbs in the ground to feed it. That's what keeps me safe. Oh, no, it's not dangerous for me. Do what I do, and it won't be dangerous for you either.
You're a little bit crazy, aren't you? Asif said. Pay no attention to him, Parvana said, putting her arm around the girl's shoulders. He's always in a bad mood.
You two belong together,
Asif said over his shoulder as he hobbled away to answer Hassan's call from inside the house.
You're both dreamers.
Layla smiled at Parvana.
Let's be sisters.
Being sisters sounded fine to Parvana. All right, we'll be sisters.
Can your brothers be my brothers?
You mean Asif and Hassan? They're not my brothers. We just sort of found each other.
That makes them your brothers,
Layla said. Yes, I guess it does, Parvana agreed, and she wondered how Asif would feel about having her for a sister.
And that makes them my brothers, and my grandmother is your grandmother.
Parvana didn't say how she felt about having a lump on a mattress for a grandmother. It didn't matter. A grandmother was a grandmother, and it was nice to have one. Who taught you to cook and take care of things? Parvana asked.
I used to watch my brother and father do things before they went off to the war. My grandmother and my mother taught me other things, and some things I just made up.
Layla skipped off to build the fire up to make the morning tea. Parvana found Asif shuffling through a pile of broken bits of board by the pigeon house. I think I'd like to stay here for a while, she told him.
If you think I'm going to stay here with that crazy girl and her crazy grandmother, you're as crazy as they are.
I didn't ask you to stay. I just said, I'm staying. Hassan, too, she added.
You're probably hoping I'll go, Asif said. It will probably make you miserable if I stay.
Parvana knew what was coming. She kept quiet.
So I'll stay, Asif decided, but only because it will annoy you.
He poked a crutch at the rubble one more time before walking away. Parvana sighed. He really was a tiresome boy. Dear Shazia, we've found a real green valley. It's a little rough still, and it will take a lot of work to make it beautiful, but we can do it. This is a place where children are safe. No one is hurt or beaten or taken away in the night. Everyone is kind to everyone else, and no one is afraid. We won't let the war in here. We'll build a place that is happy and free, and if any war people come, they will feel too good to keep on killing. Parvana looked around the clearing. There was so much work to do. She smiled. They would begin by cleaning up the yard.